of players think this. He don't respect us. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. He thinks in his heart, forget that 16-year win streak. I wasn't around. I've only been around in this series for maybe this will be my second year. Give me a shot. Let me make this 50-50. And so I don't take it as disrespect. I just take it as a challenger coming up to bringing his ball up to the court. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. You've been talking all that from two courts, two neighborhoods over. Let's go. And that's great. That's what we want because you know, regardless of 16-year, winning streak against these guys or whatnot, Vanderbilt always thinks that they can figure out a way to supersede us, and then that's their trajectory on getting up to where pretty much where we've been at in the SEC for the past 20 something years. They would love to have all that, and so I think it's just a combination of like maybe some of like a little bit of disrespect, but how much disrespect can we feel on our side from the 16-year win streak? Various ways that we've done that, but I think the biggest thing is just hearing it from a quarterback, hearing it from that guy, but also knowing it's not like a passing quarterback. Like he gonna be out there mixing it up a little bit. I love it. I love it. I think man, I'd be so oh my goodness. To be honest with you, I would probably have to calm these guys down, and that's where I think we might have to just take a little step back, trying to get after him too much. The quick dive goes somewhere, the bubble screen goes somewhere because we're just so amped up on getting our licks on him and proving him wrong that we forget about the rest of this team. And again, this Vanderbilt team is well coached. They're disciplined. They use special teams like a mug, like we do, and especially on the road, that's something we got to worry about. So again, they might be able to afford a little bit of Diego Pavia, being a scapegoat, being a punching bag for a couple rounds if they get the desired results on offense. But got to be careful with that. But I like it. I love it. He didn't even want to say our name, but we all knew what game number 3 is.
Right.
We know.
Right.
We know.
Well, I want to come back on the other side. You mentioned the Carolina offense. That's where I want to touch on some things with you next, get a few NFL thoughts as well. Langston Moore joining us Football Friday. We are live at Columbia Craft in the Vista. Come see us. Damn it. Love telling you about our friends at Griffin Pools and Spas. The summer around here doesn't always end on like September 20th or 21st. Sometimes it might extend itself, if you will, heat-wise, all the way into mid-October, maybe even a warm Halloween. You never know. That means you can enjoy that backyard pool a whole lot longer. Been dreaming about one? Griffin Pools and Spas ready to make it happen any time of year. Listen, any time of year. You don't think like, God, I can't build a pool now. And then you just sit there and look at it. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Maybe you already have a pool. Time to get things taken care of ahead of the fall. New cover, security covers. Maybe go ahead now and get that vinyl liner replaced while you're thinking about it. Whatever it is that you need. Maybe you want to enhance things with a bullfrog spa or a hot tub out back. Griffin Pools and Spas does that for you too. And in the showroom, you can see a lot of what these things look like, feel like. They got accessories for the pool and so much more. 957-2121, steps away from the Lake Murray Dam in Lexington, and always online at griffinpoolsandspas.com. 25 in front of 4 o'clock on this Football Friday. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you here. We are live at Columbia Craft. Jeff is here. Portia's here. Our buddy Carlton's hanging out with us for a bit. Maz.
Jeff brought his kid.
Maz got me all excited about their brand new totally legal IPA, West Coast, dank, hoppy, piney.
7.3, bet.
7.3.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I said, I almost fainted, but then I didn't. I caught myself. Again, I'm a professional.
You're a professional.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
I was thinking.
Speaking of professionals, Langston Moore is with us. Before we welcome Langston back, I'll remind all of you how you can even see more of Langston's professionalism than just hearing him with us. You can go to athletesandartists.net. There, you can learn all about the Just a Chicken series of books. That's Just a Chicken Little, Used to Was a Rooster. You got the Button Gut podcast. You got ways to get Langston and our own Coach P. Preston Thorne into a school or other civic group near you for a healthy message of what it means to read and be responsible.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the artwork of the legendary yet elusive Kev Roche.
I think it's
so
just
much
simple.
more.
This message you get in front of these kids, learn to read and write, or you'll end up in radio.
Well, I didn't want to say that. Well, see,
Right.
maybe that's what it is. But see, Langston's father was a long-time, very
He was an
successful
executive.
radio
He
professional.
wasn't a goof like us just
That's
talking.
fair.
He was an executive.
That's true. That's
A
true.
high-level executive.
Oh, I don't know about that. I've heard stories. There was one guy who wanted to be a DJ, decided to have a smoke break, talk about piney and dank flavor. Way back in the 70s, somebody got locked out of a radio broadcast. So I don't know. That was a world
Hey,
famous. There's a place called Wowo in Indiana. I used to go across the country, and I had to hear the story 1,000 times. I was like,
That's good.
Classic.
That's good.
There,
okay, all right.
I'm going to tell you, there is nothing worse than locking yourself out of the studio when the offices are closed.
Oh my
Never
God!
good.
And the analog
It's never
era back
good.
then, and knowing this guy, it probably was freezing. He probably had a T-shirt on. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I could see it right now. I can see it right now.
Well, depending on what he was smoking, it might have been a Funyun break he
that's
was
good.
running for.
That's good. That's good.
Exactly.
All right, let's turn our attention back because otherwise we won't stop because that's what we do in radio. We're not supposed to, so we'll move on. I have been posing a rhetorical question all week, and that is, are we seeing the best version of Lenoris that we can? Maybe that's not rhetorical. We're not at this point, Langston, but is it? We know he wants to be a better pocket passer. We know he's doing what he can with Mike Shula to develop for the next level, and that is certainly acceptable. And you know all about both these levels, the SEC and the NFL. But it does seem right now, and I don't know what you think, but to me, it certainly seems like we are not getting the Lenoris Sellers, that take over the game Lenoris Sellers. What do you think is missing? What needs to change? Or is this just a natural progression of things?
I think like some continuity, like for him, wanting to do the expectation, especially for a young person, is really, really tough. And so I think that's really what the coach's job is, of course, fundamentals and setting some structure, but like making sure you not quell and don't let them be as great as they can be, but also let's just do this, bro. Let's just make sure we get a couple passes going. And then from there, you start doing your thing there. But like, let's not out the gate. It's not going to be a Michael Vick streaking up the sideline type of deal. I mean, God bless it if it happens like that. But most of the time, football is not played like that. You got to throw the game plan out. And so maybe, the first drive of the Virginia Tech game was probably, not say it was the worst thing that could happen, but it probably wasn't good because, man, it felt like everything went according to script all the way down the score. But then completely after that and all the subsequent stuff, it took some other things. And the thing that it actually took for us to really get going on offense was a Lenoris Sellers run. And so I think that's maybe some different things that we probably might need to start thinking about incorporating more. Again, I just play an offensive coordinator on Madden sometimes when my wife lets me play on the PlayStation sometimes. A lot more quarterback run, maybe some quarterback option. We haven't seen any of the quarterback running back pull and switch, some of the things from last year. Now, again, I also knowing some of the history of Coach Shula and what really made him successful at Carolina was having a dynamo for a quarterback and a guy named Cam Newton. So we got some of that. Having they had two running backs up there, Stewart and another fella.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think for us, we got to figure out some ways to, not to say we got to have two running backs, but again, the phase-on deal, trying to figure out some ways to get them in there, him getting some familiarity with the line and the offensive line, like he was intermittently getting reps, but I can't think that we were dedicating so many reps to him that he was just ready to go because there was that threat out there that he could have not played. So figuring out some ways to get kind of a duel with that. And I think that just takes time. And I think the same way you got to feed a basketball player, you got to feed a quarterback, but you also got to feed that offensive line and let them get some things early on. So again, let them get some quick blocks, let them get some hands on these guys moving around. Just like there's probably not so much more the offensive coordinator, but like this information has to be disseminated through the O-line coach. But like the O-line coach goes and asks those guys, what y'all want to run, man? What y'all want to see in the first series, man? What y'all like? Y'all like 10? Y'all like the ISO plays a lot? Now again, offensive coordinator can have a whole different plan. Like, man, we're gonna chuck that thing and we get this cover 3 look. It don't matter what these big boys on the front saying. But I think again, same thing, trying to get them some familiarity, capturing some blocks early on. And then from there, all the natural talent and all of that stuff will just open itself up. And hopefully we see a lot of third and 16, third and Lenore Sellers, a lot of those things happen.
Hey, Langston, from last weekend, is typically in a game like that, especially on offense, you're not putting together, and you tell me if I'm wrong, you're not putting together some exotic game plan with a lot of this and that. You're basically saying, look, we're playing an FCS school. Let's just line up, run our basic stuff, and beat the hell out of them. And it just didn't happen that way. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, you're just basically running your basic stuff and working on that with the idea our talent is better than their talent, and we'll score points.
That should be the deal, but you couple that with a team, South Carolina State, they're going to make a run in the MEAC, and I got eyes on the MEAC and the SWAC, and statistically, they're always going to be a good, well-coached team, regardless of talent and all those different things. And we saw that the other night. They came out there and played. They came out there and out-energied us for the whole first half. I'll give them that. But again, couple that in with the rain delay, different things like that. Expectations again. You get the kids excited for the birthday party, but then, everybody shows up 2 hours late. And you're like, man, but everybody's here. But me not just, And that's kind of like, I'm not saying that's exactly what our team did, but like, you got what you want eventually, bro, but you're still not happy. And so, it was a later game. Things didn't happen as we wanted to. But the point is, I think you're right, Terry. You don't go out there to try to put all your stuff on tape because you got Vanderbilt coming in. You got the rest of these folks coming down the pipeline. So if anything, you probably might be trying to put your good stuff on, put the day one stuff on tape, your day one install stuff on tape, but maybe trying to put out a little bit of cheese for some stuff that doesn't really matter because maybe you can get away from it, get away with it with a team like South Carolina State. But again, that's a very well-coached team. You play around too much, you might see some different things, like they competed all the way to the end. So I think you're right with that. But I also think it'll be a totally different type of enthusiasm. And that's no knock on who our opponent was and different things. But I just think it'll be a different set of circumstances. And then again, SEC contention. I always tell these people all the time, same 53 guys we got playing the last NFL preseason game, height, ready to go. But they're not playing as hard as they're going to be playing the next week when it's game check week, first game of the season. And then that's totally different from halfway point through the season. And that's totally different from the playoffs, which is something I never experienced because I didn't win enough. So it always just continues to get ratcheted up.
All right, I got a little bit less than a minute to go here. Packers looked strong on both sides of the ball last night. Are they even more of the early team to beat in the NFC?
Man, I think that the early team is, again, knock on wood, health is going to be the caveat, but y'all making me sound really smart. When I took Terry's team and I took your suggestion, Jay, I think it's going to be still going to be the Ravens and Green Bay. Green Bay's doing their part. Don't hold that against the Ravens, but Love just looks so good. That defense looks like a college defense, like just how hungry they are out there running from sideline to sideline. Yeah, man. Watch out for the Packers. The only thing I think they were strong.
And Terry, the only thing Terry has guaranteed a Baltimore win in Cleveland.
Cleveland, Langston, please.
He's guaranteed
Cleveland.
Who knows? Joe Flacco might have went down to Aruba, got some stem cell. I don't know. It's just always interesting just how vengeance and just somehow, some way you find some way to be like, you know what? And he has the game of his 40-year-old life.
We'll see. Athletesandartists.net. Follow Langston on Twitter. Remove the chains. Enjoy the weekend, sir. We always appreciate you. We'll holler at you.
See you, man.
Thank y'all.
That's our good friend Langston Moore, the former Gamecock. Just go beat him.
Yeah, it's very simple.
Yeah, so we'll open the vault. We got plenty more to get to from Shane. Wildcard Showdown coming later on. Ticket giveaway too. A busy football Friday rolling on.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the biggest game Vanderbilt's played in a while. I mean, there's a lot of goals on the table for Vanderbilt. I think winning the Virginia Tech game put Vanderbilt on schedule to get back to a bowl. You know, if it's going to get to a better bowl, or even as some of the players have been talking about all summer, get to the playoff, then this is one that you really need to have. And you know, but that's always been a tough ask for Vanderbilt to beat Carolina anywhere.
That's Chris Lee from Vandy Sports. He was part of the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour yesterday, and biggest game for Vandy in a while. Maybe that's why it was circled.
Mhm.
Asked Langston about that earlier, Terry. By the way, welcome back in. Football Friday, live at Columbia Craft in the Vista. Come by and say, hey, nice crowd in here.
Bring you a little something real quick, then we'll get to the vault. Let's
but-
throw this. I thought about this a minute ago.
All right.
Because South Carolina comes off a game where the defense played well, the special teams crushed it, the offense was bleh. You want your offense to get focused, practice. Remember, practice better, practice harder, whatever. Get the
A
communication
lot of people
stuff out
saying
of the
that
way.
this week.
All right, you know what helps you get focused? When the other guy's talking bleep about you. I mean, what's that? Remember, Vanderbilt's breaking the huddle or finishing their practice by screaming what? Bleep South Carolina. You know, Diego Pavia circling game number 3. You won't even say the opponent, game number 3. You know, your offensive lineman, that dude couldn't pass block a table, and he's guaranteeing a victory. And if you're South Carolina, aren't you just sitting there just taking notes? Doesn't that get you more focused? I mean, knowing that these guys
think
are putting
so.
a bullseye
I
on
think
you.
so, and that's
if
why I
you
said-
can't get focused for that, bro, we got trouble
You
this
can
year.
certainly get amped, you know, where those lines blur and cross over. I'm not so sure. That could be an individual thing. Langston did make mention when we were speaking with him about Diego Pavia saying what he said. That man, I would take it as a little measure of disrespect.
Let's just be honest here. You know, we can agree, disagree, laugh, whatever. These cats are confident, puffy chest. They're coming here to kick some ass.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just get real here.
But shouldn't they be regardless?
No, well,
you
not
know,
to the
and
level
that's-
of who they are right
and-
now.
and-
This is a different
well, and
level
that's
of
just
intensity.
it. So, you know, and I agree with you. Is Vanderbilt looking at themselves and saying, "Hey, we beat Alabama last year. We're you know we got a good quarter. We got the best tight end in the league. We're
beat Alabama, had Texas on the ropes. So far this year, our 2-0 is better than these guys 2-0. The team they beat by 13 on a neutral field. We went to that team's house and we basically stole their
beat them by
furniture.
24. Yeah.
I mean, they're walking in here with revenge in their mind. You know, they got something to prove. Obviously, they're a team that carries a chip and an intensity since Pavia showed up. They're coming here to course correct
Yes.
what happened to them last year.
Yeah.
So my point is, if this can't focus you and get you on the right track, knowing these cats are coming here, they're serious.
Right.
And so you better match the serious. You're better than them on paper.
Yes.
But if you're not better than them on the field intensity and focus-wise on Saturday, by the way, Jay, probably not a good idea to lose this game.
No.
Because, look, you get mulligans in this new world, right?
Yeah.
But our conversation has been, what, 4-1 and 5-0 going into the tough stretch.
Yes. Yes.
This wasn't the one
No,
you were
you can't.
expected to lose.
No, you can't,
Just
and
saying.
you shouldn't, and
No.
all those things you said, I agree. I just, I don't know, man. I keep coming back to just one thing. You got to get Lenore Sellers
he's the
being
reason-
Lenore Sellers.
There's
again.
two reasons why you were put in the top 10 preseason. One of them is Lenore Sellers.
Yes.
Let's just be real.
That's fair.
All
That's
right.
fair.
This vault's cool, dude. Ready? This day, 1995, the Harlem Globetrotters' 24-year, 8,829 game winning streak is snapped, not by the Washington Generals.
No.
They lose 91-85 to a team led by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. This game was competitive and unscripted and played in Vienna, Austria. Jabbar scored 34. 91-85, the Globetrotters' long quarter-century win streak was snapped. Now, what if he was dressed like his character in Airplane?
Who was Clarence Over?
Was he Clarence Over?
Is that right?
Yeah, it was Roger Over, Clarence Under. I know it was Roger and Clarence. Roger was Peter Graves, though, right?
Yeah, Clarence. Oh,
I
man.
can't remember. I have to look it up.
I should know that. Now I'm mad at myself.
How interesting is that? You want to win a bar bet?
Yeah.
If you just heard this, you could win yourself a serious bar
We're
bet.
at a bar
with
right
that.
now.
We could go win a bet and get some free beers.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna pick the I'll pick the guy in the hat right
Yeah,
there.
I'll go talk to the couple over here who
Okay.
obviously aren't paying attention.
That's right.
Win me a bar bet.
I got to interview.
that
I got to interview
7.3.
Curly Neal.
Yeah, I talked to him before 2 years ago. He came to Baltimore.
I didn't know I was going to get to do it either.
They're cool.
It was-
I'll tell you this: the Globetrotters are like one of the coolest crews of guys
it
you're
was
ever gonna.
one of the best
they're
days of my
fantastic.
career,
They're
man.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Curly
good
Neal
stuff.
was great, brother.
Oh
What an
my
interview.
gosh, he was. Oh,
Mhm.
wow. All right, lots more to get to from Shane as we get ready for tomorrow's big conference opener.
Quick check on the traffic. There is an accident early on our ride home, I-26 eastbound at I-20 exit 107B. And we have our usual long-term road construction that drives us all crazy. I-20 between I-26, between exit 64 and 65 at Broad River Road. I-20 westbound and I-26 exit 64 as well. I-26 between Bush River Road exit and the old Sandy Run exit, and I-126 between Hugie and I-26. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I looked Kentucky. They lost to Mississippi State the last. They beat them a couple years ago. They lost to them like 7 or 8 years later, earlier rather. So yeah, it's Kentucky. Forgot I looked during that one break. It's Kentucky 3-0. I don't have a big on. You tell me. They beat Auburn in Beamer's first year.
They beat Auburn 2 times in a row.
That's it? Okay, it's got to be Kentucky.
We had never beaten them, and then we beat them twice in a row.
How interesting is that?
All right, it's 4 o'clock on this Football Friday. Welcome back in. Hour number 2 of the post-game show coming at you from Columbia Craft in the Vista. Jay Phillips, Terry Ford with you. Ed Bird at Master Control. Elijah will be along a little bit later in the program. And thanks again to Langston for joining us, giving us some perspective on what Carolina needs to do, how to get Lenoris going. I still believe, Terry, that is the number one facet of this game. Others maybe have some different thoughts. I threw out this on Twitter a little bit earlier too, that this line, and look, some of you may have seen a line open with a greater spread than what I'm talking about, but in this case, because we now use the ESPN bet lines for our contests and such, at least on this show. Can't speak for everybody,
Right.
but on this show, we try to be uniform with what we're going to do. And the opening line from ESPN bet on Sunday was 5.5, and it is down to 3.5. And I ask, is that because Carolina? I said the line is down to 3.5. Late money belief in a Commodores upset, or just a very close South Carolina win. Jason hits us and says, if the offense plays like they did last week, it's a loss. If we can establish some kind of running game, it's a close win. 21-17 Carolina with the run game improving, or 17-9 Vandy if it's like last week. James says, I don't like this matchup right now. Offense must pick it up or we will lose on Saturday. Brian says, what's wild is that the Gamecocks are number 11 and 2-0. Vandy, as a 3.5-point opponent, is unranked. Vandy should be a ranked team. I don't disagree with that last point. In fact, they got
one vote.
They got vote.
Yep.
At least giving them, a few. However, Terry, Lee says it won't even be close. Gamecocks by 17
there you go.
minimum.
There you go.
And there were a couple of those out there too. And we'll get a lot of y'all hit me up on that one. So thank you. I'll have more comments from you guys. And if you want to add to that thread, please do. Jay Phillips 107.5.
I'll throw you our little Twitter poll we put up today at 107.5 The Game. By the way, it's sponsored by you might have heard of this guy, former Gamecock Debo Williams, his Spender app.
Oh.
Way to go, Debo.
Way to go, Debo.
All right, new mobile app that connects people with experts against Spender app from Debo Williams, sponsoring our Twitter poll. He's such a good dude. We sit around and talk to him about this stuff, and just Debo's good people.
I'm an expert. What do you want to talk about?
You're not on the Spender app.
Oh.
They didn't contact you because you are an expert.
Well, the thing is,
Just
I guess
saying.
the things that people need expert advice in, I'm not good at.
That might be it.
Thank you, Terry.
That might be
Appreciate
it.
your faith.
I mean,
and
but you
support,
are an
my man.
expert.
No, yeah.
You are an expert.
Just ask.
All right, our Twitter poll was this. Gamecocks are currently favored to beat Vandy by 3.5. What do you think happens? First one is South Carolina wins and covers the 3.5. South Carolina wins, but Vandy covers. Vandy wins. 75%, South Carolina wins and covers a 3.5.
Yeah.
Second at 14% was Vandy wins.
Yeah.
Third at 11% was South Carolina wins, but Vandy covers. So most people, 75% of our crew, thinks that South Carolina will win and cover, but more people think Vandy would win than if South Carolina won a close game.
Yeah, I picked the touchdown win. I think I picked
I went
20.
6
I think
points.
I picked 27-20.
I went 26-20.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they win and cover it. I think it's close.
Now
though.
is your
It's one score
26
game.
is your 26 2 touchdowns and 4 field goals?
No, my 26 would be
You got a safety in there?
8 field goals and a safety.
Man, if that happens, I'm
Ready? 13 safeties.
okay. Yeah, well,
We'll go 13
that won't
safeties.
happen.
Here, honestly,
Say if that happens, I'll give you my car.
I-
But if not,
I feel like this. I feel like this offense is going to get going. I feel like at some point, I understand. Like I say this all the time, ever since it's been going on. I understand what Mike Shula and the coaching staff are trying to do at Lenoris. I get it. I understand it. But I think if guys like you and I are sitting here watching this going, what's up? Lenoris isn't Lenoris. He's hesitant. He's thinking too much. All these things. Don't you think they see it too?
of course.
And to that point, and I don't, whatever, however you do it, you have got to unleash him as a playmaker.
Amen.
He's a quarterback, but he's a playmaker. You know, our boy Carlton's sitting here and he wrote out some stuff, just isolation plays and maybe throw some screens and some draws and do some stuff formation-wise to change this up. So whatever you do, you've got to do something to get him comfortable early and get him playing the way he plays. And I think that's so important.
I mean, offensively, because I know how good Dylan Stewart is, so I'll be careful how I say this. Otherwise, Lenore Sellers is the best player of the near 200 total players that'll be on the sideline.
Yeah, look, again, we go back to this. This is nothing against the rest of the team or anyone.
And he's got to look like it.
South Carolina, despite losing their leading rusher, despite not having a go-to wide receiver, losing their leading receiver who was a tight end, losing the interior of their offensive line, losing their entire linebacking core, losing most of their defensive line, and losing 2 DBs, was picked preseason top 15 in the country.
Yeah.
2 reasons. One's Lenore Sellers.
One's Lenore Sellers, the other's Dylan Stewart. No, I agree, man.
When you are put up that high because you have a special talent, you've got to let a special talent be special.
Well, Langston made some good points, and these are some of the things. And again, to make certain that everybody knows that the football team, the players, the coaches this week, not from the end of the game through last night's coaches show, at no point did the South Carolina football team ever say the rain delay had an effect on us.
Right.
So I want to make that abundantly clear. Did it? Maybe. Did they ever say it, use it as a reason or excuse? Absolutely not. So I don't want anybody putting that on them. This can be our talking point. This is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But Langston made a great point, Terry. There is no question. He's spot on, 100% accurate. South Carolina State out-efforted South Carolina in the first half after the rain delay. Chennis Berry had those guys more amped when the game started. Not to say that Shane Beamer had his guys. I just think we predicted this. We knew this. State was going to come up I-26 far more amped to play, even if they didn't play at 3 a.m. Man,
cared.
For the opportunity. Unlike, and you made the great point about Akron, where their coach admitted last year, we're getting a check. And their players all said, well, we're just here.
They played like it.
They played like it.
Right.
I mean, Carolina dominated them in a game, with all due respect to Robbie Ashford, without Lenore Sellers.
Right.
So, but Akron knew. They're like, this is a nice place. When are we going home, Coach?
Yeah.
State, on the other hand, came in here like, we want to pop these guys in the mouth. And that's what I appreciated about what we were going to get. For as much as I may rail against FCS games on Power 4 schedules, at least in a game like that one, I know what kind of intensity you're going to get, and that was good for Carolina. And then Shane finally gave them some kind of riot act at halftime, and South Carolina came out and was obviously the far more dominant team in the second half. And again, we talked about it. 3, my new term, supplemental touchdowns.
Yes.
So now Langston's second point, for those of you who missed it last hour, was, is there some sense of holding back some of the playbook, or if not the playbook, holding back some of the play? In other words, hey, we got a couple of games here where as long as our defense does what we believe it can do, and it has, then we're going to work on a few things with Lenoris. We're going to see what we've got in Rasul. We're going to see if Oscar can be the number 1 guy. We'll see if we get Isaiah in there. We haven't seen enough of Mazio. We haven't seen enough of Nick Harbor, who did not have a catch on Saturday against State. There's a lot of things, and yet you've won both games by double digits, and you've won them, in effect, comfortably.
They weren't in trouble.
So, there's, to me, a lot of silver lining in that when it comes to tomorrow night. The thing that concerns me is how good Vandy was in running the football against Virginia Tech. That being said, we know that Vandy is not great against mobile quarterbacks. And you made a great point about the PFF or the StatCat numbers. PFF or StatCat?
But which one?
The pass block.
Yeah, the PFF,
PFF.
The PFF grading numbers for the Vanderbilt tackles and pass blocking are putrid.
So Carolina's ends look like tomorrow night, if things go the way they want them to, that they've got an opportunity to impact the football game early and often. So I like a lot of that for South Carolina. I can say all of those things and go back to expert opinions like Langston Moore's. My novice opinion, if you will, despite all the years I've watched this, I'm still going to call myself that because I am, is I know what number 16 can do. I want to see number 16 do what number 16 does.
Yeah.
That's it's not that simple. I don't mean it to sound that simple, but I need to see more of him because I believe everything else flows through that.
Yeah, and again, I would just love to see them get him involved with his legs early in the game. Get him going and doing what he's special at, and then I think everything else flows from there. And defensively, I think first down is the football game. If you put Vanderbilt at 2nd and 9s and 2nd and 8s and 3rd and 5s and 6s, now you're putting them to where they have to throw the football.
Right.
And then these two tackles who are bad in pass protection are now being affected by Dylan Stewart and Brian Thomas.
Right.
And I think that's a huge thing in this football game. Another thing too, as good as Vandy's run the ball, and they have right up the gut is where they've been averaging 10 yards a carry, middle right and middle left, per Pro Football Focus. Now, South Carolina, their three big uns in the middle of that defense have been phenomenal against the run this year. So there's another big matchup of Vandy's run game in the middle versus our boys Gabriel Dindy, Barrett, and Goodwine in the middle. That's going to be a big thing. But
Your new law firm.
My new favorite law firm. But I'm with you. I think if we were going to pick one top key that unlocks this whole thing,
Yes.
is Lenore Sellers going out there and playing the way he did the last 6 games of 2024.
Yes.
I just think that, because I think the defense is going to be fine. Is Vandy going to move the ball? Yeah. Am I a little concerned about, Vandy's hit some big plays and South Carolina's given some explosives this year? Yeah, but the defense is fine. Defense is good. Special teams have been good. The offense, to me, is where the number one key has to be, and that starts with Lenore Sellers.
I agree.
It just really does.
Want to hear from you guys? Hit us up 803-404-6100. You can use the AAA phone lines, Firehouse Subs text line. Hit me on Twitter. We'll get into a lot more of that for you. We'll come back on the other side. Shane had a lot of things to say, including the latest on Carolina's availability. We'll get that for you throughout the day. And earlier than usual on Fridays, drive around the SEC. We got 3 other conference games. And let me go ahead and invite you now. I will not be asking the question, and you must come to us in person here at Columbia Craft in the Vista. Again, just a couple of blocks away from Colonial Life Arena. But I have a trivia question for you. It is football related. So so just study football.
So just Google football.
Yeah. And I will tell I'm going to be nice. It is not a Cleveland Rams question.
Not the Cleveland Rams?
Not the Cleveland Rams. Before they moved.
Before they moved to L.A.
Yep.
And then moved to St. Louis, then moved back to L.A.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry. Cleveland, L.A.
I didn't say
Anaheim,
it wasn't. I didn't say it wasn't a St. Louis or L.A.
St. Louis.
Rams.
It's not the Cleveland Rams.
I didn't say it wasn't a St.
It's
Louis.
not the Cleveland Rams.
It's just not it's not a Cleveland Rams question.
You're not going to ask who was the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Rams?
You know why I'm not?
Well,
Because I have no idea who it was.
I'll take a wild swing.
If you know who a Cleveland Rams quarterback was, I'm going to be impressed.
Probably not, because he probably was in L.A., maybe in Cleveland for your Bob Waterfield.
Okay, I know that name. How old are you?
I am 87 years
Didn't
old.
Roman Gabriel start for the Rams for a bit?
Not in Cleveland.
No, not in Cleveland.
No, in L.A.
In LA.
Yeah, Roman Gabriel started in L.A.
Yeah.
So Joe Namath for a year.
I remember that.
Uh-huh.
I was
awesome.
a
God love
tyke.
him.
I was a tyke.
Yeah. I believe a guy, if I remember reading history, because I have no
Bob
life.
Waterfield.
Bob Waterfield.
You're not just making that up, are you?
No, this isn't like those names
This
you
is
make
like
up
Elijah
for you.
does when in the
Matter of
NBA.
fact, let me look and see if
Like
Bob
my favorite
Waterfield.
fake player name that I came up with,
What's your what?
Brax Gillette.
Who was it where you didn't believe who it was when Pearson was?
No,
was
I
that
believed
what-
him. I believed
was
him, but
that-
it
what
was
was that
Pascal
name?
Siakam. No, I did. For those who never hear the story, so we're not like being inside jokey here.
Yes,
Years ago, Pearson and I were talking about when Kawhi and the Raptors were getting ready to go to the finals. They were in the playoffs. They weren't in the finals yet, but they were in the playoffs. And I was like, look, I know Kawhi because I loved Kawhi in San Antonio. And I was like, well, who else is good on the Raptors? And Pearson says, oh, Pascal Siakam. I was like, you just made that name up. You just made up 4-syllable sounds and then or 5-syllable sounds. And he's like, nah. He's like, nah, man. He's really good.
Bob Waterfield was the Cleveland. I think it was the Cleveland Ram quarterback. 1945, 46, 47, 48. Back when I was in middle school.
Again, how old are you? Wow. That's impressive. But again, that's not going to be the question. It's not a Cleveland Rams
I'm
question.
sure he was with the.
But it is a football question, and we will do that. So come see us. And when you get here, I'll ask it. If you get it wrong, you may have opportunities. If somebody else is here, they're going to get the chance. It depends on who lines up. Jeff has the tickets right now. So we'll do that. So if you want to go to tomorrow night's sold-out game, we have a pair of tickets. You'll come here and answer a trivia question. It won't be too hard.
Yeah.
But it is football related. That's the best I can
It is
tell you.
football related.
It is football related, and we will do it as Football Friday rolls on from Columbia Craft.
All right, Men's Clinic of South Carolina, 803-875-MENS. Dr. Dan and the staff, look, they're there to help you out. You're a guy and you just don't feel right. And look, we never want to talk about this stuff. We're guys, we're dudes, we're tough, we're manly, we never have any problems. We're taught to, never show anything's wrong with us. But, if you got something going on and you don't want to talk about it with anybody, you don't feel comfortable, you can go do that consultation with Dr. Dan at the Men's Clinic and his staff. It's confidential. It's free. Tell them the problems, whether it's, brain fog, you're not sleeping well, your exercise, you don't feel as strong, you don't recover as well from exercise, you don't have any life drive, sex drive, professional drive, personal drive, whatever it could be, it might be low testosterone. If it is, lab work will be done, and if it is lab work, they'll put you on a program to get you back to being you again. It's 803-875-MENS, Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
All right, welcome back in. Football Friday rolling on here at Columbia Craft. If you want to win tickets, again, come see us. A lot of you might be in the car on the way down. Come do that. Again, you have to do it in person. Can't call, can't text. Got to come see us at Columbia Craft. We do have the pair of tickets here for you. It's a football trivia question, football related at least. And again, the hint, it is not a question that will involve in any way, shape, or form the Cleveland Rams. So, I mean, that's one less thing that you have to study when it comes to your
I looked it
football
up. To be fair, Waterfield was only at the Cleveland Rams for like a year before they moved to LA. They moved to LA in 1946. I looked it up on the break. I want to be accurate.
The more you talk about knowing who Bob Waterfield is, the more people think that you're like 95 years old.
I'm like older than Dave.
Yeah. You know, like would Tommy have even known that?
I think Tommy
would have.
I think Tommy would have known.
Tommy
that.
actually would have told you.
That
You
would
know,
have been
Bob
Tommy's wheelhouse.
Waterfield one time had like 45 passes against the Bears.
Let me tell you about Bob Waterfield's high school career. It's there.
Or he would have known like a Gamecock that played with him or something like
Right.
that. But anyway,
Yeah.
come see us. And again, if you get it wrong, you might have a chance to redeem yourself. If there are others that are in line once we ask the question, and we'll see. So it's a first come, first serve thing when it comes to the trivia.
That's right.
So there you go. But again, not asking the question on air. I will ask it once you get here.
And isn't it interesting how all of a sudden this became a much better game to want to have tickets for?
Yeah, it's
Can you
great.
think about it for
Great.
a minute, to be fair?
Ed Bird, let's get back into some cuts, please, sir. And let's do the all-important one here first, and that is cut number 2. Shane Beamer from Carolina calls last night on the injury status.
No, we're actually in great shape. I told Clint Haggard, our head athletic trainer, on Sunday that he was the most important person in South Carolina right now because we have a lot of guys out meeting Saturday night that we need to get back by the following Saturday. And Clint and his crew in the training room did an amazing job. And we'll have to release our injury report just like every other team in the SEC does here this evening. And when ours comes out, it's going to say that everyone is cleared and ready to play except for Judge Collier. He won't play on Saturday. But other than that, everyone's back and ready to roll.
So that is good news. You know, to what degree? I suppose that varies. It's football. Everybody's hurt after, a couple of plays, it seems like, and certainly after a couple of games. How big is the continued absence of Judge Collier? That starts to be a thing, in my opinion, because I remember, and I know you do too. He was one of my players of the game before before the Virginia Tech game. And then, of course, in that game is when he got hurt and obviously didn't play at all last week and won't play tomorrow. And I think he's their best cover corner. So I think that's certainly a concern. But they've got depth.
Well, you know what? I tell you, the other part of this is, Miles Norwood, it's been a hit or miss there early for Norwood. But Norwood's a nice player in the group of 5 situation, and obviously maybe a little bit of time to ramp up in the SEC, but he's got some skills. It's just been he's got to get his feet under him. Also, Vakari Swain's shown you moments where he's done a nice job. My biggest thing going back to this, Vandy has hit some explosive plays down the field in the past game.
They have
this year. South Carolina, one of the very few Achilles heels of this defense is giving up explosive plays, especially in that Virginia Tech game to the wide receivers. So again, Vandy has showed you they can do it, and now you're playing without Judge Collier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cissay's back, thank God.
Yes.
And he's been your best cover DB so far. But it's going to be on Norwood or Swain or a combination. Kilgore's back. That's good. But Vanderbilt's going to take some shots down the field in this game, and you got to be able to win those 50-50 balls, to your point.
Ed Bird, let's continue with some of the cuts from Coach Beamer, please, sir. His scouting report on Vanderbilt here. Cut number 1, Ed. Here's Shane on the opponent.
Really, it's the same team we played last year. They're a year older, and they've added some players since then. Obviously, the quarterback's back. The tight end, who's a heck of a player, is back. The running back, who's a really good player, is back. And then they've gone into the portal, and they've added some offensive linemen and receivers as well. They're really good on special teams. That guy's back, their kickoff returner that returned a kickoff against Tennessee last year to start the game. And then defensively, they return 8 starters. And Clark, Coach Lee, is a defensive guy. They've always been really tough and physical and rugged on defense, and this year's no different. They're comfortable in that system because they're all older guys, and like I said, return 8 starters, and they're good, and they're playing with a lot of confidence. Obviously, I know where they went last week. It's not an easy place to play, and to do what they did in the second half certainly got my attention and got our team's attention pretty quickly.
Before we talk more about what he just said, Ed, if you would, please, let's supplement those comments on Vanderbilt with cut number 3. This is Shane, answering a question about how Vandy has been approaching this game.
See, I got you.
Yeah, you did. It's a good food line, food for thought. They certainly are very confident. Vanderbilt is. They should be. They've got a really good team, and they had a great win last week and had a great season last year. They beat Alabama, the number 1 team in the country. They went to Auburn and beat Auburn at Auburn after we beat them in Nashville that night. They had a 1-score game, I guess, with LSU into the fourth quarter and had Tennessee tied up at halftime. So they had a really good team last year, really good team this year, and they're very confident. I would say that, for us, it's always about us. And let's worry about ourselves, us as a team. So it always starts with that as our motivation. But I don't think there's many secrets out there anymore with
really
social media. If you say something, your
opponent.
A lot of people are going to hear it, including the opponent. So
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. We'll talk more about the Food Lion food for thought later.
Yeah.
So there's an honest scouting report of what returns, Terry, and I knew he was, I knew already what he had said about some of the other factors. And he says what a coach is going to say, right?
Absolutely.
We just gotta worry about us.
Mhm.
You believe it?
I mean, yeah.
I mean that in a funny way.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the mantra of today, right? If we play our A+ game, that's what we focus on doing, right? Because that's how we're at our best. But you're not going to tell me that there is not anything going on there of all this smoke that Vandy's throwing all week, right? That Shane Beamer and those players and that staff aren't using that. But they're smart. They're not saying a word because, again, you don't want to start that, right?
No, you
You
don't.
let them do all the talking and you handle the business. But, of course, you've got to be using that as motivation.
Well, look, I mean,
right?
here's the thing. And you make the point a lot, and we all have, we've talked about Michael Jordan, like, man, I just, some of those things I just made up because I needed something.
Mhm.
All right. When you don't need to make it up,
Right.
then you got to use it, right? Then
Right.
if it's like, as the old low hanging fruit,
Absolutely.
but at the same time, some low hanging fruit's kind of rotten and gross. So you got to be careful. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, look, the thing about this kind of game, we see this all the time. If Vanderbilt would come in here with all that talking, right, and all that stuff they're doing this week about getting their quote-unquote revenge and all this, then it's this, ready? What a confident bunch.
Yeah.
Man, those guys believe in themselves. It's unbelievable how they just have fallen into the belief of what they can be. Wow, they said it, they backed it up.
Yeah.
But if you do all this and then you come get your tail kicked, what do you hear? Maybe you guys should have been a little more quieter.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't have poked the bear. Maybe you should have left it because the bear kind of sleptwalked through South Carolina.
I don't think
State.
Pavia knows how to do
Well, he
that.
doesn't, and that's the point. The point is this is who he is. This is who Vanderbilt is with Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
So if you're South Carolina, you just ready. You sit there. Maybe Shane puts on the big screen that social media post of how Vandy's been like breaking up their practices with South Carolina.
Right.
And the stuff they've been doing in the talk. Bryce Henderson, the offensive lineman, who, by the way, again, can't block a tree stump in the passing game, who is sitting around talking smack, they're going to come in here and win.
Right.
Yes, if you're South Carolina, you're bringing all that in. Shane can use that 10 different ways, Jay.
Sure.
Think about it for a minute.
More
Absolutely.
from Coach and the call-in show last night. We'll take our earlier than usual Friday drive around the SEC on the other side. Again, you want to win tickets? Got a trivia question for you. Come see us at Columbia Craft. It's the post-game show. Love telling you about our friends at US Brick, now part of the program here on the post-game show and at 107.5 The Game, a leading American-owned brick manufacturer headquartered right here in Columbia, South Carolina for nearly 90 years now, with plants as well in Alabama, Tennessee, and Indiana. Their facility here produces residential, commercial, and authentic tumbled bricks and now their exterior design center, which is at 300 UG. In fact, we're very close, Terry. We could walk there in like a couple minutes, right down that way.
Right, which way?
That way.
That way?
I'm pointing to it.
That
man.
way.
That way.
All
Right
right.
down there. 300
I hear
UG
you.
Street.
That way.
But the new exterior design center showcases all of U.S. Bricks collections alongside a huge range of complementary materials for professionals and for homeowners. If you are thinking about building a brand new home, build it out of brick. Thinking about making maybe a wall, a fire feature out back, go see the folks at U.S. Brick. 300 UG Street. Check them out. Great people. Mikey Johnson and the crew at U.S. Brick. Welcome aboard.
All right, we have an accident one so far. That's it on our drive home in the Midlands. I-26 eastbound at I-20, exit 107B. I-20 between I-26, exit 64 and 65 at Broad River Road, road construction. More construction, I-20 westbound at I-26, exit 64. I-26 between Bush River Road and Old Sandy Run Road, and I-126 between Hugie Street and I-26. We'll pop back in here, take an early drive around the SEC on the postgame show live from Columbia Craft in the Vista. We're here till 6, but the beer flows much later.
Yes.
Yes, it does. Postgame show, more coming back on the game.
previous Saturday has nothing to do with what's going to happen, transpire the following Saturday. Nothing good or bad follows with you. You got to learn from your lessons, and your preparation practice take you to a position being ready to go play at a high level. And in this one, the details are going to matter. And, that comes in, your fundamentals, your technique, your eye discipline, everything post-snap can be really important.
That's Josh Heupel as his Tennessee Volunteers prepare to host Georgia tomorrow afternoon at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you here. Drive around the SEC time now on this Friday. We'll come back around to that one because I think that's not just the game of the day in the conference, but the game of the day or the weekend in the country. Terry, let's start, though, with the other conference games. Arkansas at Ole Miss. You and I were talking about this one earlier this week. Arkansas has not really had a difficult schedule so much, but Taylen Green has looked good in the games they played. Mississippi did open conference play with a win last week at Kentucky, but they didn't look great doing it. They did run the ball effectively, and maybe they played into what Kentucky wanted to do from a style standpoint, but they're just a better football team. And again, they won the game. Lane Kiffin doesn't care how many they won by. And again, it was funny that they were covering the spread until they weren't with about 10 seconds left. That was not funny for people.
Remember Lane apologized post game. It was pretty funny.
It was the way he did it was
apologize. We didn't cover the spread.
But, I mean, look, everything goes according to plan. Mississippi wins this game. But the not according to plan is if Taylen Green can find a way to take over. As you and I talked about, Taylen has to secure the football for 4 quarters, and then Arkansas might have a chance in this one.
If Taylen Green doesn't turn it over, which can be a problem for him, and like we said earlier, he gets on a heater, he starts making plays with his legs, with his arm, Arkansas could – They could come up with something there and on the ground.
And you and I mentioned it too. I think Vaught Hemingway Stadium, look, it's a quaint place and it's a fun tailgate scene and all that, but it's not the most intimidating. No. It's not all that loud. It's not all that big. Arkansas will have plenty of fans that make the trip. I'm not predicting a Arkansas victory. I'm not, but I'm not at all going to be surprised.
Right, and the other thing, too, is, Austin Simmons, remember, came in for a couple plays against Georgia last year, looked great. And then Jackson Dart came back in that game. A lot is thought of Austin Simmons' upside and potential, but he's very raw, and he's had some struggles so far, especially in that game last week against Kentucky. So if he continues to struggle, I know he got nicked up a little bit, too, but if the struggles continue from the quarterback position at Ole Miss this weekend, and you have Taylen Green playing well.
It could be a 4-quarter game, and that's not. It kind of was last week, and then anyway, we'll see. Let me get through some of the games we're not going to discuss. Just give you the rundown. Kentucky is hosting Eastern Michigan.
You want to get into that one?
Nope,
really?
I do not. Sorry. Mississippi State will be hosting Alcorn State. That's Mississippi State should go to 3-0. Texas has UTEP. I think they'll win. Missouri has Louisiana. I think Missouri will win. Auburn has South Alabama. Go Jags. We'll see. No, I'm kidding. Kidding, Auburn friends, as far as you know. And Oklahoma is going to Philadelphia. They're not technically playing at Temple. I believe they're playing at the Link.
Yeah.
They did a 2-for-1.
Because you know why? Because the Temple fan base is so gigantic for football, they have to play in the Link.
Right. Now, I read about that, how that came about. Oklahoma said, we'll do a 2-for-1.
But we're doing the Link.
But we'll do it at the Link.
Because for Oklahoma's fans.
Bring our fans to Philadelphia, and they can go see, Independence Hall and Liberty Bell, and then we'll beat you, and it'll be great.
Sub at Pat's.
It'll be great. Yeah. So, your significant other is a Philly girl, right?
She is born and raised a Philly girl.
But you tell her that you hate Philadelphia all the time. How's that working out for you?
Couch is cold sometimes, Jay.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. I hurt my hip the other day on it.
Pulling for you, man. Only because I believe you.
After 4 years, Tara, I totally believe it.
I believe everything you just said. A&M is going to Notre Dame. Notre Dame is giving the Aggies 6.5 points.
Is that one in our little showdown?
It is. So we can mention more of that. In fact, that's the one that all of us are going to play. So we'll talk more about it.
I will say this. Again, don't be surprised if A&M walks out of there with a W.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Wisconsin is in Tuscaloosa. Bama giving the Badgers 20.5. Well, that's somebody's going to play that one. That's not a everybody game.
Next
Next hour.
I'm not going to say sad, but isn't it kind of a head shaker that Wisconsin is no longer Wisconsin? They're just Wisconsin now. I thought Fickle would get that thing back together.
I don't know.
really
Is it because? And I'm somewhat serious as I ask this. Are there a few players that Wisconsin used to get that maybe are at Michigan right now and are at Illinois right now and are at Notre Dame right now? And that footprint of the Big Ten where it felt like for a long time Wisconsin had sort of become the third best team in the conference behind Ohio State and Penn State, because Michigan struggled to kind of re-identify itself. And now Michigan's kind of dipped again, at least from a national championship perspective. But you could count on Wisconsin 8, 9, 10,
win team all the time. 10 wins, compete in the Big Ten. Like you said, they looked like they would line up behind Ohio State and Michigan as number 3 or Penn State, however it went through a year. You know what? There's a couple things. First of all, whenever we see a team that used to be good and now they're not anymore to the level, my first thought is, okay, could be an NIL situation. Could they not, are they losing players to your point they would usually get because now somebody's paying money to those players they can't for whatever reason?
Maybe.
That could be one. Or two, what else happened here? Remember when Fickle came in, he brought in Phil Longo. They were going to start spreading out and throwing the rock all over the place. It lasted 1 year.
That's what it is.
And you got to be who you are.
Wisconsin, when Barry Alvarez moved into the AD chair, and I guess that was Bielema that took over, right? The style of Wisconsin by then, like Iowa, had built an identity. And if you get away from that too much, it's hard to rebrand it.
Yeah.
And I do think that's certainly part of it. But anyway, I expect Alabama to win that one.
They're going to win easy, man.
Florida at LSU. I know there's a path for UF. Lagway needs to be brilliant. Probably need to turn Nussmeier over a couple of times, but I don't know. I don't feel it. I don't
either.
And yet it's only a 7.5 point spread.
I just believe that game. I try not to make too much of an early season game, but you know what? Here's Billy. I think you kind of hit on this the other day. He saves his gig by going on that streak to end the season, right? But it's only 7 wins. You didn't win 10.
No.
And it's not like some magnificent thing changed in your culture or whatever. You just DJ Lagway played really well.
I think DJ Lagway
and all of a
just
sudden
showed you
things
he's pretty good.
And then you figure, okay, you're past all that. And then you lose a game in the fashion you lost to South Florida.
Yeah.
And you had no business losing that game. You're better than them. I don't want to hear anything else.
Oh, no, of course.
And so now you have got a gauntlet in front of you like nobody's business. I just feel like that might be the game that ends his career there because everything is 180'd so much. And you have so many better teams in South Florida on your schedule. How are you going to get yourself together when you obviously can't win a game like that you should have won over a team you're better than?
We'll come back on the other side with more on that Georgia visit to Knoxville tomorrow afternoon. Again, game of the week in college football. So we'll conclude the drive around the SEC and a little J or nay. Again, we did not get a winner yet. We had a guy come in. We didn't get a winner.
Nope.
So we still have a pair of tickets. Come answer the trivia question. We're live at Columbia Craft in the Vistas, the postgame show.
tell you, man.
All right, welcome back in. 11 minutes in front of 5 o'clock here on a Friday afternoon. Jay and Terry with you. We'll wrap up the drive around the SEC. Terry's got Jay or Nay ready for me. Elijah will be along in just a bit. And Lydia is here, and Lydia knew that the answer to the
Crushed it.
question.
Lydia crushed.
She did. Now, here's the thing. First, because y'all don't know the answer, or y'all don't even know the question. Because we asked the question once you get here. The question was Carolina currently has a 16-game win streak over Vanderbilt. That is the longest current conference winning streak for South Carolina over another conference opponent. Who has Carolina beaten the second most consecutive times in conference play, active streak? And the answer is Kentucky. And Lydia knew that. It's just 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Just 3 in a row.
Just happened in the last so many years.
But
it was ironic because remember before that, South Carolina was having an issue with getting over on Kentucky, and now everything's totally switched.
That's right. So, and that was after that Kentucky had done some good things after Carolina won like 10 of 11. And again, that one they didn't was the one I was talking about the other day in 2010. That was one of the more miserable post-game shows I've ever done. I assure you, I could still remember that one.
Yeah, those are always fun.
Yeah, Brent and I were like, how long do we have to stay here?
Can we please go now?
And the answer was always no.
I know.
You know how those work.
I know.
You got to get all those breaks in.
I know. That's the worst part of it is.
I was like, hey, Brent, can we just say something and do another break? He's like, no.
Or can we just play 10 straight minutes of commercials and get the hell out of here?
Unfortunately, it was not how it worked. But
program directors ruined that, man.
But
those guys.
Glad Lydia came by. And,
Lydia won.
So way to go, Lydia. So Kentucky is the answer, and Carolina in a couple of weeks here will look to make that 4 in a row.
And you feel like even though
that's
it's in
2 weeks,
Lexington,
right? 2 weeks from
you
tomorrow.
feel like because you got to go to Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah.
The following after this Saturday, and then you got
Kentucky.
Lexington.
No, they come back here. They come here. Yeah, they come here.
Because South Carolina beat them in Lexington.
That's right. They come here.
I mean, obviously Gamecocks will be favored in that one.
Yes. I haven't even looked recently. I'll look up in a minute. Real quick before you do a J or nay. Georgia going to Tennessee. I like Tennessee's opportunity. The thing that I'm talking the collective football world, not all of us, but the hidden little secret that's not so hidden about Tennessee isn't how good Josh Heupel is with his quarterbacks. It's that Tennessee runs very effectively. And in the situation that we're looking at tomorrow, Georgia is very good at stopping the run.
2.2 yards a carry.
I think that becomes the difference. Force them into things they are uncomfortable with. Let the Georgia defense take over. I like Georgia. I like Georgia to win this game. And as I keep telling you, until you knock them off, and they'll lose from time to time. I think it's tomorrow though.
I am reluctantly taking Georgia,
right?
Because I think the ball game is Georgia allows 2.2 yards per carry, run defense, and Tennessee spreads you out, and they can run the ball on almost anybody.
Right.
I think whoever wins that battle, I think wins the football game. Gunnar Stockton, it's only 2 games in. I'm not saying you're concerned, but Georgia not only is not throwing the ball downfield, they're not hardly attempting to throw the ball down. He has like 10 attempts past 10 yards.
That's almost like a run game.
I was going to say they could be slow playing him.
Yeah, it's like a run game.
They could be trying to get him comfortable. But he's got to, I tell you, to be honest with you, though, he's got to make some plays Saturday. You're not going to win despite Gunnar Stockton on Saturday.
Mike Bobo doesn't like to take too many shots.
I'll say the flip side of that.
But he likes to run.
Loves it. And Tennessee is stout on defense. They got a lot of people coming back. But I'll say this about Joey Aguilar so far. It's only 2 games. But the biggest negative on Joey Aguilar is he likes to put the ball in harm's way. He has 0 turnover-worthy plays so far in 2 weeks for Tennessee.
There you go.
But I'm with you. I take Georgia in this game, but I think it's going to be a really good game.
All right, real quick. What do you got? Real quick.
All right, ready. All right, Lamar Jackson, sir, was not disciplined by the NFL for pushing the Buffalo Bill fan who touched him, reached over and touched him on the field. Jay or nay on not being disciplined?
I'm fine with that, Jay. I'm fine.
Hey, you know what? Don't touch anybody,
the fan did him first.
Yeah, don't touch anybody,
and that's sometimes a human reaction. I'm okay
absolutely.
with that.
All right, South Florida against Miami. South Florida wins this game and puts on a massive run as a group of 5 team to the playoffs.
I think it's closer than the 17.5, but the Canes are going to win. So
Jay or nay?
Nay.
Jay or nay? Micah Parsons
Uh-huh.
did a lot of damage last night in the win over
Jay.
the Commanders. Micah Parsons is going to have one of the best seasons an edge pass rusher has ever had to prove a point. He's motivated.
Jay, I mean, if you would, I'd like your parameters of best, but I mean, we talking like a top 10 all-time season?
I think
Okay.
will he have one of
Sure,
those
Jay.
seasons?
Yeah.
I
Jay.
think honestly this year he's
Jay.
out to prove a point.
I think
there.
so.
And finally, after watching that game against Green Bay, the Commanders will not get back to the playoffs.
Oh, nay, they're gonna.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, they won't win the division, but they'll get back. They'll get back. Headlines and a whole lot more coming up. Palmetto Propane in business since 1959, helping their customers with all their propane needs, whether it's your home, your business, your farm. They can get it done for you. And now at the Palmetto Propane Hearth and Patio Home Store showrooms, they can hook you up with so many other things. I mean, go in there and see what a brand new gas fireplace might look like inside your house. And you might think back, if you're of a certain age, to, maybe when your grandparents got gas logs for the first time and you're like, those look weird. That's not really a fireplace. These days, they look so much better. Check them out and see. Maybe an outdoor fire feature that is fueled by propane. They can get it done for you. Gas lanterns, gas lighting, Rinnai tankless water heaters, all of these available for you. They've got them in Batesburg, West Columbia, Lexington, and in the CSRA, Aiken, Augusta area. Find a location near you. Make your life a whole lot easier and convenient with our friends at Palmetto Propane.
Oh, that one accident has cleared. So now you can move forward between I-26 eastbound and I-20 at exit 107B. Traffic should be picking up there now after the accident has been cleared. I-20 between I-26. Long-term construction. That's between exit 64 and exit 65 Broad River Road. I-20 westbound at I-26 exit 64. I-26 between Bush River Road, exit 108A, Old Sandy Run Road, and exit 125. And I-126 between Hugie and I-26, more construction. Here's a check on your traffic.
It is 5 o'clock news time here on this Friday. It's a football Friday. Jay Phillips, Terry Ford with you live from Columbia Craft in the Vista. Ed Birds at Master Control. And again, congratulations to Lydia. She just won a pair of tickets to go to the Kentucky game. And she was
quite excited.
Psyched, man.
Very happy.
So that's what we do here.
That's right.
Want to make you happy.
Make people happy.
She knew it was the answer to the question was Kentucky. We'll talk about the question later because I don't have time to get into it because it is time now to get into today's
Just
headlines.
gave the answer.
That's
Moved
right.
on.
Yeah. Well, that's all you need to know. The answer was Kentucky.
We'll tell you the question later.
That's
Don't
right.
worry about
That's
it.
right. Yeah, don't worry. It doesn't matter now.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. So, it's over. I could have told you anything. The answer was Millard Fillmore.
We got to stop drinking when we're here.
We haven't even had anything yet. That's
Yeah.
the sad part,
I
man.
know.
That's how giddy we get on Football Friday. Anyway, let's get you caught up with what's going on. First off, Shane Beamer speaking last night ahead of Carolina and Vandy. Gamecocks now just 3.5-point favorites tomorrow night, 7:45 kickoff. Here's Shane Beamer from Carolina Calls with the injury report.
No, we're actually in great shape. I told Clint Haggard, our head athletic trainer, on Sunday that he was the most important person in South Carolina right now because we have a lot of guys out meeting Saturday night that we need to get back by the following Saturday. And Clint and his crew in the training room did an amazing job. And we'll have to release our injury report just like every other team in the SEC does here this evening. And when ours comes out, it's going to say that everyone is cleared and ready to play except for Judge Collier. He won't play on Saturday, but other than that, everyone's back and ready to roll.
So remember Saturday post game, Shane was like, man, there's too many guys banged up. I'll tell you all tomorrow night. And then Sunday night teleconference, not as bad as we thought. And then Tuesday, we're kind of getting there. And he praises Clint Haggard as he should. But do you think Clint Haggard does that like that Mr. Miyagi thing? Is that what it is?
Absolutely.
To get it, like, that quick?
Yeah, it's
like here, I got just my hands. Don't you worry about it.
we got you covered.
Yeah.
You're going to be ready. What was it? You never saw this guy. There was a faith healer. I used to see him in Baltimore. He used to be on at like 2:00 in the morning. And he would sit there and like, if you had a problem, and like you say, like, you go like,
Why don't you give him $10?
pastor or whatever, I can't hear.
And he smack you on the head.
Demon out. And he hits you in the ears. I wonder if they
Had those
line up.
guys. They had those guys down here. It could have been somebody different. It's kind of like pro wrestling back then. Everybody had one.
Everybody had. And by the way, it was because he knocked the guy down. He'd get up, and then the pastor pull him over and say, "Hello,
Yeah.
hello." You go, "I can hear you.
Right.
I can hear you."
Right.
Oh, you're a miracle worker. Maybe that's what goes on
Maybe.
over there.
I don't know.
Just
I
smack-
like the Mr. Miyagi thing better.
I do too.
It just
I like
sounds
that.
it sounds better. Or maybe Clint is just really good at helping guys through,
Oh, that's boring.
solid,
That's boring.
modern
That's,
medical training
no,
technology.
Don't go into all that stuff.
We'll see.
Mr. Miyagi, you're
Nah,
a faith healer.
That's
It's much
good.
more fun.
But the Judge Collier absence, I think, matters. To what degree, we'll find out. But as we keep talking, South Carolina, this is the difference that you can see. There's quality depth to where it's more of a 1A, 1B at a lot of spots, and that's crucial.
Well, the thing too is, I mean, you only got one guy hurt. That's pretty good after 2 ball games,
It is.
right? You got one guy hurt. He's important, yes. But now this is why you brought in, like you said, you brought in Miles Norwood through the portal for this reason. You recruited and you're developing Vakari Swain for this reason. You've got some other very young DBs who are 4 stars, whether it's Solomon, Hunter, whoever. Okay, you might have to step up and play some snaps. That's why you have these guys for this reason, and especially with Norwood. I think this is where, if you were Shane, remember, he learned his lesson a few years ago.
Right.
When your entire offensive line was injured and you had no reinforcements, and you said, you know what, I got to make sure I've got depth. And they've gone portal hunting ever since to make sure they have depth. They can't just rely on developing. You got to also go in the portal to supplement. And Miles Norwood's an example of this. Now, Miles, just going out there, dude, and do what you're brought in here for, because they're going to take some shots at you.
Yes.
Because they're not going to go after Cisse as much. They'll go
I
after
agree.
Norwood.
I agree. Although Cisse's been a little
He had that one big
banged
play
up,
he gave up against
you know,
Virginia
and he got a
Tech.
little
and he was
banged
hurt.
up, but yeah.
Well, again, no one's ever said it, because remember, these now are government secret.
Right.
But I feel like Cisse got hurt. Brian Thomas blew him up on a run play in that first series. Brian Thomas Jr. came over, and he was going to hit the ball carrier. He got a piece of ball carrier, got more Cisse, man. And
he'll be fine.
yeah, he's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
But he's back. But
That's
he
right.
got what's that old thing? He got his bell rung.
Yeah.
I think it was is that what happened to him?
That's a thing. That's a thing.
But I mean, I like Cisse. I think he's a good player. And if Norwood can hold his own, they'll make for a nice Saturday night.
One more cut here from Shane. For now, we'll have more coming up in just a little bit. But here is Coach on what he sees as his team's biggest keys to victory tomorrow night.
Certainly, we've got to be able to sustain drives offensively. They want to play football the way that they do, which is grind the clock down and shorten the game and limit your possessions offensively. So we've got to do a great job of staying on the field and scoring points, but making first downs as well. That'll be a big key. And then obviously their quarterback. I mean, he makes them go, not just the offense, but the whole team just feeds off him. And we've got to keep him uncomfortable and be disruptive like we were last year against him. We affected him last year in the run game and the pass game, and we've got to do a great job this year of doing that as well.
Does Shane throw out, remember last year, do it better? Those of you that weren't here, ask the guys sitting next to you how they felt last year when we went to Nashville. Yeah. I mean, how much can you replicate? Because that's clearly, as I agree with you more than anything else, believe it or not, that Pavia circles this one because of South Carolina's dominance last year.
I mean, that was the whooping they took last year. And again, there's a team carrying their chip, carrying this this intensity that they've gotten with Pavia. And I'm sure because they remember, and Clark Lee said it, that, South Carolina beat them at their own game. Vandy fancied themselves last year as a physical, bring the wood to you football team. Well, South Carolina went, yeah, hold my beer. And South Carolina beat them up on both sides of the ball at the line of scrimmage. Pavia was hurt at the end, had to take him out of the game. I mean, Rocket Sanders ran it. He caught it. I mean, just South Carolina was the more physical team. And
remember, Norris had that. Remember that amazing play, like Norris was getting chased, and like basically was somewhere near the goal line and rolls all the way. And I forget who caught the ball now. Was it Simon? I can't remember. I can't either. But a beautiful just. I mean, and the play broke down, but then Lenore. I mean, again, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about wanting to see as well too. Is that, just like when that happens. Go make a play, but Carolina was just in total control last year. Go do that again, and you don't have much to worry about.
Again, when you like it's like anything, man. When your calling card is going to be toughness, and someone out toughs you, you want another shot at it.
Yeah.
You just do.
And to stay with that point for a second, Langston also mentioned, hey, because we asked Langston as a player, how might that be taken? And he said, I'm going to take it personally. And I suppose what he meant was, and I agree with this part of it too, which is why I asked yesterday, was it kind of a slap? Is, y'all, it wasn't, Tennessee that did that to us. It wasn't Alabama that did that to us. It was South Carolina. And even if that's not the truth, I make it the truth if I'm South Carolina.
Well, I want to give myself all my motivation I can find. If I'm Shane again, I want to push every button this week. Yeah. I just do. Whatever I got to take, I'm going to take, because I know these dudes are coming to be serious. You remember we talked about like South Carolina State showed up here because they were serious.
Right.
Well, Vandy's coming here and they're serious because they want to avenge what happened to them last year. You got to get your team sharp and motivated and intense and ready to roll. And you're going to use anything in your power to get it done if you're Shane Beamer, including some of this stuff that Vandy's throwing out this week.
There's not going to be another rain delay, is there?
I hope not. The weather says there's no chance of rain.
Okay.
Zero.
I live in the South. I don't believe that.
Going back to something we talked about earlier, another part of this, and obviously, and again, I know you just want to worry about yourself, bring your A game. That's what you do. That's what you look at. Every game's the same, and I understand all that. But for us goofs who talk about this for a living, you really can't afford to lose this game.
No, you can't.
You really can't. With what's coming up on your schedule later. I'm not to say
that you're going to, this isn't the game that you want to need the mulligan for.
No, not at all. You just
don't. If you want to keep,
because now you got to make it up somewhere.
Yeah. So I go do what you do.
Handle you're better than them. We said this about Virginia Tech. You're better than them,
and you won by 13 points.
And you look. You won 2 games by double digits.
Yes.
And your offense has been sputtering in neutral. And there's like the lawnmower I have at the house. I use it, and it goes, and there's black smoke coming out of it. I don't think that's the most effective. But you know what? It mows the lawn.
Yeah.
South Carolina mowed the lawn. Black smoke was coming out of the offense. But South Carolina won 2 games by double digits. I mean, yes, the offense has got to get right and it's got to get fixed and it's got to get back to what it was last year. But you did win 2 games by double digits.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, you're 2-0. And what needs to be fixed, I believe, is an easy fix. We've been saying this all day. You want to say it again? You want me to?
Lenore Sellers.
Just go be Lenore Sellers.
Just let
that
Lenoris
hard?
be Lenoris be Lenoris.
Was that hard?
I'm convinced that's
Yeah.
the number one thing. Could be others, but like you said, there's 5 things. I think 3 of them are that. So I'm sticking with that until further notice. More from Shane coming up in just a few. Elijah's going to join us as well, and coming up in about 20 minutes, we'll invite 2 of you on board to the Wild Card Showdown. In the meantime, continue our headlines of the day, brought to you by Integrated Media. This is an interesting development in the ACC. They have had a 23-year official and lead referee for his crew quit because of how a replay situation was handled the other day in the Connecticut-Syracuse game. The man's name is Gary Patterson, not to be confused with the longtime successful football coach. He was the head referee on Saturday. He's been an ACC official in some capacity since 2002, and he quit with immediate effect. The ACC confirmed his departure. They say they have taken care of filling that particular void. He was going to be the lead referee at the Pitt, West Virginia game in Morgantown tomorrow. The backyard brawl resumes. I'll read verbatim here from this report. It says the sequence that led to Patterson's departure began with 1:02 remaining in the half and UConn leading 14-3. Syracuse opened a drive at the Husky 25, and on first down, quarterback Steve Angeli dropped back to pass. His arm was hit. The ball went forward 8 yards, landing on the turf. Officials ruled the pass incomplete. Syracuse snapped the ball with 58 seconds left, though about 25 seconds of real time passed between plays. Second down throw was nearly intercepted. The flag was thrown, and Patterson could be seen talking on his headset to the ACC command center that the replay had buzzed prior to the previous play. However, sources who reviewed it said numerous camera angles said there was no physical indication by any official that they had been buzzed. An ACC spokesperson said officials were buzzed, but that the timing was not ideal for a seamless replay. The conference addressed it. A spokesperson said officials reviewed the play, but Patterson was basically like, hey, we're the scapegoats here, and y'all did your job wrong.
You're hanging us out to dry.
Don't do that. That ain't cool. I'm with him.
Yeah.
And I saw this. I didn't know he was going to quit, but I realized there had been an issue because I wasn't watching that game the other day. But now I understand more fully that the command center in Charlotte screwed up.
Right.
And they've admitted it wasn't ideal. Okay, then why'd you say one thing first?
Right.
But don't hang your boys out to dry.
And you did. And at the end of the day, you can't do that. Part of this whole thing, dude, is you got to be accountable and take your responsibility and your whooping, so to speak. And look, you lose a guy who's been doing this for 25 years over a mistake. And it wasn't the mistake. It's how the mistake was handled is why he's walking out. Make no mistake.
Right.
Things happen. You know, nobody's perfect, but how do you handle a mistake? And there's a lack of accountability. And then the officiating crew is the one that, you know, had to take the shot. And that's not right. That's just not right.
The article goes on to say that Patterson was upset at the ACC's interference in forcing a replay after the next play had occurred as well. So, again, he's basically like, look, we have protocols here. He's right.
Oh, yes.
And the conference guys
absolutely
did it
right.
And again, the conference tried to say, yeah, it wasn't ideal. That's an admission of we screwed up. But
you know what gets me about that kind of stuff really quick is just say screwed up.
Yeah.
Why is that so tough?
You know how it is.
I
get it.
I
I get it. But
come on, man. Just say you screwed up.
That's our Integrated Media headlines of the day. We'll have our Gamecock Notebook on the other side. More from Shane. Elijah will join us shortly, and we'll also play the Wild Card Showdown in about 20 minutes. We are live at Columbia Craft. Come say hey. It's a Football Friday postgame show.
I'm serious.
Kreger Showrooms, formerly the Nest, in the Vista on Gadsden. We talk about this a lot, that, your home is important to you. And if you want to do things to change the look of it or upgrade some rooms in the home, just call the Nest. 70 years of experience there, 803-978-2025. Let them know what you want to do, whether it's new appliances, redo the bathroom, lighting, plumbing, fixtures, whatever the case. They will then put you in touch with their expert, who will then, say, hey, let's come on in for an appointment. You come in, talk about your budget, what you want to do, your vision, dreams, goals, whatever it is for your house. They will make it happen for you. They'll walk you around the greatest showroom in the history of mankind and give you an idea of what they can do for you. They can fit it in any budget. But just make the call. Go on in, 803-978-2025. Kreger Showrooms, formerly the Nest, on Gadsden, the Vista, 803-978-2025.
We're 2-0, so he's been good enough. He'll be the first to tell you that he needs to play better, and we need to be better around him, coaches and players. But he's got a lot of new faces around him, a lot of freshman receivers, a true freshman offensive guard, so a new transfer center, and haven't been good enough, but confident that we're going to continue to take steps and get better for sure.
Welcome back in. Shane Beamer answering a question on Carolina Calls last night about Lenoris thus far. He's been good enough. We're 2-0. Got to get better. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. Ed Bird at Master Control. And now we're joined by some tall guy who just showed up out of nowhere. His name's Elijah Campbell.
It's amazing what happens when you walk in like you're supposed to be here. People will just give you a headset to talk on their radio show.
Well, it's like anything in life. They always say, act like you belong there, and nobody. Well, you used to be a doorman.
I did. Doorman, security guard.
Somebody walks in like they belong. What do you do?
I'm less likely to question if they are supposed to be there, credential or not. You know.
Now, if you walk in there like you can smell the fluid on them because they're scared, you're going to hassle them.
Then you have them right where you want them.
Exactly.
Right. Then you have a power advantage.
Do you ever use somebody's face to open up a side door?
You know what? I've thought about it.
They were
bigger. They were larger human beings that I worked with that I got to let do that for me.
And they would, and you know what? They enjoy it.
Hey, Moose, Rocco, help the judge find his checkbook.
We had a guy at the Cannery Ballroom. His name was Houston. Houston didn't work with the company I worked with. He was the house hired security. We worked really with him.
Mm-hmm.
He was 6'8". He was at least 350. The guy had the size of an NFL offensive lineman. The guy also may or may not have been in a biker gang. I can't confirm nor deny if Houston was or not. Usually on the other end of the radio, if I was having issues, all I'd have to do is tell Houston to come to the front door. And then people could hassle me.
Mm-hmm.
They're not hassling him. It's amazing the politeness level that gets raised.
Well, they looked
Houston
at him and looked
summoned.
at you, and no offense to you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm tall. I'm not threatening.
So
right?
this is the easiest setup in the world for Houston.
Yes.
We have a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I had to say. Just had to summon him.
I'll never. First time I went to a bar, I was 18, and I went to a bar.
Totally legal.
And totally legal because I looked so old at that point.
Well, you are old enough because you knew who Bob Waterfield was that played for the Cleveland Rams.
I used to go to a lot of Cleveland Rams games.
Well, that's how you convinced them. Yeah, that you were
Terry
of age.
Ford is actually 93.
93 years. I'll never forget watching this bouncer, who, by the way, had no neck, and his arms were bigger than my whole body, take a guy, open up a side door with a guy's head, and throw him on the sidewalk, and he was giggling while he was doing
no neck, arms the size of your body. Are you describing Frank Gore?
I'm describing a young Jay Phillips.
Yeah, look at me. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Look at me, right? Can't you tell?
His
I
neck
lost
was gone
weight
years ago.
I lost weight.
Those were the old
He
days.
became a dad. He chilled out.
Let's get back into football talk. Maybe somebody that big can make a play tomorrow night. We haven't talked. I mean, we've talked this week, but we haven't talked professionally on the air about this game. Love to get what you and Jen and Preston have been talking about, especially around Lenoris. That's why I wanted to set up that clip from Shane. I continue to say that we haven't seen really anything close to Lenoris's best, and Shane's probably right for a variety of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But that needs to change, and I think most of it needs to change by letting Lenoris be Lenoris, however they figure that looks.
Well, because the standard's a little different for him now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good enough would have been good enough last year. Good enough will get you away with not playing your best against South Carolina State, right? Like, good enough was scoring the adequate amount of points required to win against South Carolina State, which was 10.
Mm-hmm.
They did that. But what happened in Williams-Brice on Saturday night offensively will not fly in the SEC, right? You will not get away with 3 consecutive 3-and-outs to start the game against SEC play. You might not be able to get away with that tomorrow night, right? You got to be able to see what you saw from the last 6 weeks of Lenoris Sellers and see what he displayed against this very team last year, which brings back a lot of the same players defensively. Again, like 72% of this team has returned from last season at Vanderbilt. In terms of continuity in an age of a total lack of in college football, they're different, right? You saw what he could do against this team last year. You need what he did last year in Nashville to show back up in Williams-Brice tomorrow night. And offensively, I think Mike Shula's task is, all right, how do we get that out of him? Because if you don't get that out of him, then you're just any other team in the SEC. Lenoris is supposed to be your separator.
Right. I feel like you watch it with your eyeballs. We've talked about it. He's not playing instinctively. He's playing very robotic, right? It's not instinctive. And there's some numbers about, and this offense in itself is just, it's been a struggle. You're looking at 0.71 yards, guys, of yards before contact. You're not even getting a yard before contact. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, Lenoris is the 3rd worst quarterback in the SEC in uncatchable percentage of basically throwing uncatchable passes. I just don't think he's playing free. He's not playing instinctive. He's not playing confidently. He's thinking, way too much thinking. and the offensive line, the communication's got to get right. Whatever's going on there, and we talk about this all week. I really believe what South Carolina did on Saturday was we're going to line up, run our basic plays, we're going to work on our basic stuff, and we're just going to run over South Carolina State. And you couldn't win consistently at the line of scrimmage for a variety of reasons.
Right.
And your quarterback's not playing instinctive football. But these are fixes, right? I mean, this is we've seen what Lenore Sellers can do. Sometimes we ready. It's very simple. Say it, Jay.
This isn't a lack of talent. Oh, what?
What does have to happen on Saturday?
Let Lenore's be Lenore.
This is not difficult.
Yeah.
It's not at all.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, what he looked like on Saturday against South Carolina State was at times a little indecisive. The feet got really happy. And I think that was one of the reasons why some of the throws were a little high. He missed high a couple times, right? I remember
The
one
one to
pass,
Nick.
the one to Nick, where Preston made a really good point. Out of all the players to throw high on, Nick Harper's probably not the one to throw a little too high on because
Ironic.
he's your tallest receiver, right? If you're missing out on him, you're missing pretty high.
Yep.
When he's playing within the flow of the game and he is, to use your word again, instinctive, that's what separates him from every other quarterback because he's got some things that you just can't teach from a talent perspective.
You were throwing math at us. I saw a little bit of math. I didn't do the math, I promise. South Carolina, 5.19 yards per play through 2 games. That's 15th of 16 SEC schools. Conversely, Vanderbilt, 8.37 yards per play. That is second.
I'll throw you something because, again,
in the SEC.
I'm way too – obviously, I have no life. I did this earlier. On first down, South Carolina in the South Carolina State game averaged about 3.5 yards on first down, and 35 yards of that was the touchdown to Dre Jacobs.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know what their average third down was? So 3 yards on first down.
Mm-hmm.
That makes your average second down what? 2nd and 7.
I can do that.
Their average third down play was over 6.5 yards.
So they weren't
in terms
getting
of distance.
They
to
weren't
go.
gaining second down.
They were not gaining anything on second down, right? And that's how you still get stuck in third and medium to third and long.
The
situations.
success rate is just not there right now. But the good news is, again, it's fixable. It is.
All of it is.
These are look. Here's the good news. Your defense, where you had the big question marks, looks like it's going to be fine, right?
Yes.
You're
And now
young.
they're
You're
healthy.
fast.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. Your special teams. Guess which football program has the number 1 special teams in America per Billy Conley's SP?
I'm going to say South Carolina.
Guys
South
across the
Carolina.
street.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got 70 punt returns for touchdowns. You better be number 1, right?
Right. Vicari Swain looks like Dante Hall for a couple of games.
I mean, so your special teams is better than we thought it would be. The defense that we had questions looks like it's going to be good. The crew we had the least amount of concern about is where we've got concern. My point being is there's talent to get this fixed.
Yeah.
And it starts with who again, Jay?
Lenoris Sellers, Florence, South Carolina, number 16, redshirt sophomore.
I just think
Lenoris,
where
J
we're
or
at.
nay for Lenore. J.
Yes.
I mean,
Jay.
let me ask you guys this. I mean, look, and I've been saying this all week. You can be right and not be right. Like Mike Shule is right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's right. Lenoris has got to get better going through progressions, throw guys open, anticipation, all that stuff.
And Lenoris wants that too. Let's be fair.
Yes.
Lenoris wants that
it
It's not,
too.
it's not like Lenoris is snoozing
He's not
in
being,
meetings.
yeah,
when
he's
being
not
told
being
that.
told to
Yeah,
do
Mike
that.
Shule is not like hold him against the wall and
Right.
threatening him. No, Lenoris knows he also has to get better at that. But again, there's a thing of we have to work on this while we still have you do all the things you do well.
Mhm.
It can't be an either or. You can do both. I mean, I watched the Ravens do it with Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar struggled throwing the football on the pro level his first couple years. What the Ravens said, we'll work on that. Why don't you go run a little bit?
Yeah, right.
Right.
I mean,
Why don't you be the MVP of the league for a little bit?
just
Yeah.
go run into. We're
Twice.
not going to stop you. And really could have won it last year because
Should be
Should have.
three.
ridiculous.
Yes.
Should
Should be
have.
3.
So the point is, yes, you work on things, but have the guy do the things he's magical at while you're working on
Yeah.
things. And these things can go together. Is my point.
All right, we need 2 of you. 803-404-6100. 803-404-6100. It is time to play this week's edition of the Wild Card Showdown. Chance to win a beer card. We'll do it on the other side. It's the postgame show. Integrated Media is absolutely the best when it comes to home theater all across the Midlands and beyond. How you watch and what you watch. You want to do it better? Of course you do. You can do it with Integrated Media. Maybe you're starting from scratch in the house. Call Integrated Media. Let Dave and the crew come over, walk around with you, figure out things you want to do. That starting from scratch, by the way, could be in your house already, or it could be if you're building or remodeling. They can work with your contractor. Maybe you want to go outdoors. We got nice weather now this time of year through football season. How about an outdoor home theater system that is built to be out there all the time in our climate, 24/7, 365, Samsung Terrace TVs, the Sonos outdoor speaker system. You can even get an in-ground subwoofer and really thump that backyard. Man, it's awesome. I'm telling you, I love mine. You'll love yours too. Whatever you want to do, one room, whole house, Wi-Fi that works everywhere. Watch it all better than ever with our good friends at Integrated Media, 803-948-8327.
We'll check the traffic. A lot of construction right now. Still no accidents, which is a good thing. I-126, Huge and I-26. We have long-standing construction. I-20 and I-26 between exit 64 and 65. More construction there, and obviously between Bush River Road and Old Sandy Run Road, there is construction there as well. And that's it. We're going to come back and do the showdown with Jay and myself and Elijah. That's next on the post-game show live from Columbia Craft in the Vista on the game.
Awesome, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's really cool, man. Who they play tonight? I forgot. A local.
All right. All right, welcome back in. It is not drive around the SEC time. Instead, it'll be wild card showdown.
No, get the program director to fix that thing for Friday.
I wouldn't worry about it if I were you.
Yeah, good
Again,
point.
the guy's 93 years old and remembers Bob Waterfield.
Yeah, it's like
What's the point?
It's like
What's the point, Ter?
it's like talking to a biology skeleton. Good point.
We are here at Columbia Craft. Before we welcome Nick and Duncan onto the showdown, shout out for the totally legal IPA That's the name of the
What
beer.
about it?
It's totally legal.
It is totally legal. And
I need to ask no more questions.
Maz, who is one of the great brewers here at Columbia Craft, was telling me all about it beforehand.
Mhm.
I have now gotten my pint.
No, but Jay, it's 5:36,
It
and you
is,
don't get off the air till 6.
It's okay, Tara. Again, the program director has no idea what's going on because he's 93 and remembers Bob Waterfield.
He's too busy remembering Bob Waterfield.
That's right.
It really-
He's watching old Cleveland Ram
It really
grainy
just doesn't-
videos.
It just doesn't matter anymore. So we're good. We're good. It's totally legal. No, I mean, dank, hoppy, piney, bitey. Again, I told Elijah these are my beer dwarfs, like Snow White.
Yeah,
So
if Jay Phillips is Snow White. These are his
that's
beer
right.
dwarfs,
So,
all of them.
but it's awesome. No, it's great. Come out and say hey, and grab one, or whatever you want. They got lots of new stuff this week even from last week. Lots of new stuff. So get a hazy, or you can get a fam hop, if you will, the OG,
which is my favorite.
That's yours.
They have a sour called Hannah, spelled backwards as Hannah.
Yep. I think my daughter just had that one when she was here. My wife had this totally legal. She loved it.
She liked it?
She did, yeah. All right, come say hey. Ed Bird, cue the band, please, sir. And let's do this week's edition of the Wild Card Showdown. Again, Nick and Duncan are our participants. Boys, good to have you. Nick, happy Friday. How you feeling?
Let's do this thing, man.
All right, let's get it done. Duncan, you excited?
Let's do this.
All right, here we go.
Duncan,
There we go.
ready to
Duncan's
roll.
ready. All
They're
right,
ready.
All right, guys, beat two of us. We'll hook you up with one of our fantastic 107.5 The Game beer cards, good for here and many other locales throughout the Midlands of South Carolina. All right, we'll play 4 against the spread together. Got a wild card game, got a tiebreaker stat. And right now, Terry and Elijah, 4 and 6 through 10 games, and yours truly is not as good as them. That's about all I'll say. Now, I'm 3 and 7. Nick, we're going to start with you, sir. Game of the week, Georgia going to Knoxville. It's the Dogs minus 3.5. What do you think, Nick?
Gunner Stockton season. Give me the 3.5 Bulldogs, baby.
Georgia to cover the spread. Duncan.
I'm gonna have to agree, man. I think Georgia gets it together this week. Give me Georgia.
Georgia to cover the spread. I'll take it to Terry Ford.
Yeah, I batted this one back and forth, man. I think Tennessee's got a legit shot, but I'm with you, though. Until you beat Georgia, I got to go with Georgia.
Georgia to cover the
I'll tell you,
spread.
That Georgia passing game concerns me.
I hear you.
Well, thankfully for them, Tennessee's top 2 corners, Ricky Gibson and Jermon
There is
McCoy,
a
out for the game.
There is a
Yeah.
defensive issue for sure.
It
Elijah,
still concerns me.
Yeah, like it doesn't change my mind much.
Elijah Campbell.
Yeah, until I see a Josh Heupel offense score more than 20 points in a game against a Kirby Smart defense, I'm going to take Georgia and the points.
It's a clean sweep then because, again, now Georgia, listen, 3.5. I could see 27-23. I could see 37-33.
Tennessee could hang.
I think, who knows? I doubt he goes that high. But clean sweep for Georgia. All right, no differences there. Duncan, Notre Dame, 6.5-point home favorites over A&M tomorrow night in South Bend. What do you think, Duncan?
Man, I love that you got me going. Irish.
We just lose
Duncan.
All right,
I was
sorry,
going
Duncan.
Irish.
You cut out. You got the Irish.
I got the Irish, man. Go
Irish. Okay, Notre. I'm sorry, you cut out for a second. I just want to be sure.
He was on a roll too.
Yeah, I
He was
know,
getting
man.
ready.
I'm
was
sorry.
pumped.
He
I'm
was
sorry.
on a roll.
Pumped.
Notre Dame. All right,
I was
Nick.
ready, man. I
Same
had
game.
speech prepared and everything.
I got you. Oh yeah. Hey, time permitting, we'll come back to you. Nick, what do you think?
A&M. Give me them.
A&M plus the
6.
points on the road. I Terry, you just said back and forth on Georgia, Tennessee. I'll go next. I kind of on this one. Notre Dame in this game, in this time of year, concerns me. I think Notre Dame wins this football game, but I don't think they cover that spread. I'm going to take A&M plus the point. I think this is Notre Dame, as Corso would say, closer than the experts think. Give me Notre Dame to win by 3, Elijah Campbell.
Give me Texas A&M outright. That was a really close game last year. I think Marcel Reed's figured it out in the passing game a lot. I think Notre Dame's going to be a lot better in November than they are right now.
That's what I think.
I think it's going to take them getting the easier part of their schedule and they have a little more cohesiveness. Their offensive line is struggling a little bit,
Which
too.
is a surprise.
Which is a surprise.
That's why I say this
Yeah.
this time of year. I
remember Freeman loses a goofy game early in the season.
Right.
I'm taking A&M in the points.
All right.
And I think A&M wins
I
outright.
took
too.
A&M straight up
I
on the
think
Gamecock
A&M
Central
I think,
picks.
Yeah, I think
took
A&M wins straight up. A&M is good on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They can go out there and have a toe-to-toe fight with Notre Dame at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
I'll take A&M.
To the NFL, I'll start with Elijah Campbell. The Philadelphia Eagles going to Kansas City on Sunday afternoon. Eagles -1.5 at Arrowhead.
Yeah, give me the Birds.
Eagles
to win that rematch.
All right, Terry, so you don't get in trouble with the misses.
Take the Eagles.
All right.
Honestly,
Seriously?
I'm taking the
Okay,
Eagles.
Philly.
I'll be
Okay.
honest with you. It's too early, but there's some stuff in Kansas City, man, with that offense.
There is.
There's some
Xavier
stuff
Worthy
there.
being hurt and no Rasheed Rice because of the suspension
Yeah,
is
there's-
going to limit the offense a little bit.
And look, Kevin, Mr. Taylor Swift is not the player he used to be.
They're not married yet, so you can call him Travis. It's fine.
Mr. Taylor Swift is not the
There
player.
Still
it
Mr.
is.
Taylor Swift, yes.
But I just think there's some stuff there they gotta figure out on offense. I think Philly beats them.
All right. Just for yucks.
Take Kansas City.
Yeah, you know what? My daughters will want that. So Kansas City. Kansas City.
This is the kind of hard hitting.
That's right.
So like Jay versus the
Analysis.
internet here.
Ready?
Breakdown.
I'm taking Philly because of my girlfriend. He's taking Kansas City because of his daughter.
That's right.
It's
All
like-
of them.
and now it's up for me, Nick, and Duncan to provide the football analysis.
That's
Fellas,
right. Well,
it's up
Elijah
to
has
you.
Philly. All right, so Nick, Eagles -1.5 on the road against the Chiefs.
Only football analysis I have is I cannot pick Nick Sirianni or Jalen Hurts. Give me the Chiefs at Arrowhead.
All right, see, that's my kind of analysis.
Nick.
That's my kind of analysis.
Look at, you,
Yes.
you look at Nick Sirianni and you go, how in the hell has this guy won a Super Bowl and been to another one?
I love
Biggest
it. All right,
door to
Duncan.
the NFL.
Yeah, yes.
Who you got, Duncan?
I want to watch Taylor Swift cry. Give me the Eagles.
This has been the best pick
This
round
is
ever.
why
There
you
it
tune in.
There
Ever.
it is. All right, Dallas home favorites over the Giants. It's Cowboys -5.5. Terry Ford.
Against the Giants?
The Giants. That's a football team.
Are they still in the NFL?
The
Have they
New
been,
York
have they
Football
been
Giants.
relegated
Nope.
to the CFL?
They don't do that, unfortunately.
Dallas will cover the 5.
Dallas. Will
I have no
cover.
faith in the Giants.
right.
Dallas will cover the 5.
I think you know what. I Dallas is going to win the football game. Y'all call me crazy. New York Giants lose by 4. Give me the New York Giants.
Ooh. So, yeah, you stole my thought there, Jay Phillips. I think the Cowboys win the game. The Giants cover because I don't know if I trust the Cowboys to score a ton of points against the Giants defense, which is actually
Here's the sad
pretty
thing.
good.
That stable of pass rushers on paper, you might not find a better depth of dudes to hit quarterbacks in the league. I think the Cowboys are bullies and they beat up on teams like the
All right.
Giants.
So you got the Giants.
That's what they do.
Giants. Elijah has Giants plus the points. Duncan.
It's also fun to see Jerry Jones lose his mind. Give me the Giants.
Giants.
I love it.
It is.
All right.
It
I
really
love it.
is.
Nick.
New York Football Giants.
The Giants. Terry is on an island in that
Oh,
game.
God,
All
Cowboys
right.
that guy.
Island.
You know
Wild
what?
card time
I feel
now.
dirty.
Nick, you get a good one, man. You got Miami. That's the Hurricanes. 17.5 home
Ooh.
favorites over South Florida.
South Florida, let's keep it rolling. Winners outright.
South Florida plus the point.
Winners
That's outright. Love
outright,
it.
yes.
All right. Duncan, you get Clemson, 2.5 point favorites at Georgia Tech.
Oh, this is beautiful. Again, man, gotta love to watch Dabo cry. Give me Georgia Tech. They'll be upset.
Georgia Tech. All right. Elijah Campbell, Ole Miss, 6.5 point favorites at home over Arkansas.
Ooh, give me the Hogs to cover. Ole Miss to win. Ole Miss plays with their food a lot. Austin Simmons got to learn how to
I
not
agree with
turn
that.
the ball
I
over.
agree.
Terry
100%.
Ford, LSU, -7.5 at home over Florida.
You know what? LSU wins. Florida covers.
Florida covers the spread. Yours truly
'Cause I
has
don't think they can. So they will.
Alabama, 21.5 point favorites over Wisconsin. I call me crazy, and again, you will. I think Alabama's going to, they almost have to. I'm going to take Alabama. Hey, boys, sit tight. We're going to wrap this up on the other side with the tiebreaker. You're listening to the post-game show.
My first thought is Florida gets dog walked.
All right, welcome back in. Final few minutes of the post-game show on this Friday. Jay, Terry, Elijah is hanging out. Ed Bird at Master Control. Nick and Duncan kind enough to hold over. We had so much fun making picks. We have to get the tiebreaker stat in too. So, boys, thank you for that. Again, everybody's picks are in. So today's tiebreaker statistic is very simple. We mentioned it earlier about the Georgia-Tennessee game. Total offense for Tennessee. Total offense for Tennessee. That is the tiebreaker statistic. I'll let everybody chew on that for a minute. In my head, playing Jeopardy music or something like Final Jeopardy music. And now we're going to make those picks. And I'm going to start with Duncan. Duncan, total offense for Tennessee tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, let's go with 365.
365.
Nice.
A yard for every day of the year.
All right. Just so we don't let him do it 3 weeks in a row. Terry Ford's going to go next.
Look at the grin on his face.
Terry Ford.
364. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I'm going to go with this whole theme of watching people cry.
Okay.
I'm going to go 281 yards.
Oh, my.
Because I want to see Josh Heupel cry on the sidelines as his Tennessee offense can't move the ball.
281. All right. Nick.
375.
375. So a little cushion in there. We'll let Elijah go last because he's doing better than I am. Y'all are in a good neighborhood there.
You know what? I'll be nice and numeric. 3, 3, 3.
Look at you.
How's that?
Okay, I like that. See, I was thinking. Now, usually when you say it, I think of a quick number on the spot. I do a little bit of math in my head, do a quick number, and I stick to it no matter what everything else is. So this isn't just me being a smart ass. This is me sticking to the number. I just signed it to Terry earlier. My number's 283. So when he said 281, I was like, oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
283. All right, so we are all locked in. Everybody's got Georgia. Duncan is the only Notre Dame pick.
Notre Dame Island.
Let's see. 3 of us have Philly. I don't. Terry alone with Dallas. And everybody's got their wild card pick. So it's an interesting little week. All right, Nick, Duncan again.
Thank you, fellas.
Beat the other guy, beat 2 of us, and we will hook you up with a 107.5 The Game craft beer card. So good luck, boys. We appreciate you listening. Appreciate you playing along. Have a good weekend, and we'll let you know on Monday, all right?
Thank y'all. Appreciate
Yep,
it.
thank you. I
You
feel like
bet.
if I didn't go for the Irish, it would cause a potato famine, so I had to do it.
Somebody had to do it.
There it is.
Somebody had to be on Notre Dame Island.
There it is. Well done, Duncan.
I like this whole philosophy. I want to see people cry.
Yeah. Well,
I like
that's
this.
the beauty of this.
I
But there's
like
no.
this.
Thank God this isn't for money. This is what. See, like what was it when Nick said, with Kansas City, he can't take Sirianni seriously. That's me. When you ask me, or you used to ask me on Jay versus the Internet about the Mets or something, I'd be like, I'm not.
It became a
hate-
player haters
I
ball.
hate the Mets.
But-
I hate Schwarber. I hate Bryce Harper.
But here's why
like this weekend, the Braves. I don't know if it's on there. I don't like the Astros. So
here's the
whatever
thing.
it is,
That's why I thank God for your family. You're not a gambler.
correct.
You're living in your
Right.
car.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, honey, I couldn't bet with the
Living in my
Mets.
car, dude. I wouldn't have a car.
That's true. It'd be repo.
Well, I
You'd be-
mean, really, the last week and
I
a
had
half,
my
if you
old-
just faded the Mets, you'd have made yourself some money.
I know the way they've been not rolling.
Well,
They've opened that door up.
I'm a
baby.
Braves fan,
They've
so
opened
this
that
season-
door
Yes,
up.
they
Oh, my
have.
hopes are up.
Yes,
They've
they
opened that door up.
this season, it's been tough. I think we've all to wrap things up here. I think we've all come to the consensus. Lenoris needs to be Lenoris. That sets the tone for everything else in all phases of the game.
Yeah, I mean, going into the season, we looked at what South Carolina has defensively and offensively, but we looked at 16 and said that's what makes you different than any other team in the middle class of the SEC. That's how you be predicted to be top 5 in this league at media days. Not because your offensive line, not because they looked at your receivers or your running backs or your defense. The media members in Atlanta looked at number 16 and said, that guy is one of the best players in college football. That's why we believe in you. You should be able to feel the same thing, is that that's the guy that's your separator. He needs to be your separator, and I think they allow him to be the separator.
You have to. And look, if Lenoris is making the plays, and Jay, what's it again?
I don't know which one you want today.
Let Lenoris
Let
be
Lenoris be
Lenoris.
Lenoris. Yes.
Give
Okay.
the NFL developmental league.
And defensively, if you win first down, defensively, let Lenoris cook. Oh, that was
Yes.
Russ.
That's right.
If those two things happen, if you are putting them on 2nd and 8 and 2nd and 9s, and if Lenoris goes out and starts making plays, you know what you do? You walk off the field to win because you're better. You're better on paper than these cats.
Yep. You have the best player in the game.
You had the
Yeah.
best.
You have the
And by
best
the way,
player
just
in the
it.
game.
And on the other side, you got a game wrecker on the edge on defense who's actually playing the run game this year.
No matter who has the ball, you have the best player on the field.
Yes.
Every play of the game.
Yes.
Let the best player be the best player.
It's not that hard, guys.
Great stuff today. Thanks to Langston as always. Elijah, thank you. Elijah and Justin have the high school scoreboard show coming up in just a little
Yes,
bit.
they do.
Ed Bird, thank you. Thanks to the great crew here at Columbia Craft. Congratulations, Lydia, for winning the tickets. For Terry Ford, I'm Jay Phillips. Y'all have a great football weekend. Be safe tomorrow and on Sunday when you're watching the pros. And we'll do it again on Monday. See ya.
Cox.
And one final note from our friends at AAA Heating and Air. Stay nice and comfortable all year long and for many, many years to come. If it's time for a new system, maybe you've got one that's working, but it's not efficient enough. Right? You look at that power bill every month and you're like, man, I got to do better than that. Well, today's systems are a lot more efficient for you. Or maybe it's just not working anymore and you've been putting off paying for it because you think you can't fit it into the budget. Well, Roy and Dana Finley have extended their fantastic offer, which gives you no payments or interest for a